we'll now continue with what magnetic storage really is, right? So just imagine it's the disk or the disk, right? And it is a special kind of disk with magnetic coating. Right? And of course, we cannot just have the storage media, right? We also need some kind of recording mechanism or recording storage device or recording device or some kind of storing mechanism, and we call this the read-write head, right? So you just imagine it as being on top of this, right? So we have the head somewhere here, right? And it's called the read-write head. So when your hard disk is first manufactured, what happens is that we have this randomly scattered magnetic materials on top of it. The magnetic coating is where it contains a lot of magnetic materials and it's just scattered randomly, right? But by using the read-write head, we can arrange it in line, right? Meaning we can, instead of it being randomly scattered, we can arrange it in which we call it formatting. When we format, what it means is that we will have a disk and we'll first divide it into tracks. You just imagine like racing tracks, something like that, right? You know, racing tracks, you know, track, right? So these are called tracks. And if you see, the tracks are not very efficient to keep things, so it is divided further into what we call sectors, right? So it's divided like that, like a pie, see, like cutting a pie or a cake. It's divided further like that, right? So now someone ruined my red marker. Right? This is not part of the learning process. Anyway, right? So we divide it further into what we call sectors. Right? So this whole process is called formatting. You line it up and then you divide the tracks and sectors. This whole process is called formatting, right? Sometimes you insert your thumb drive, or sometimes you use your external hard disk or whatever. Sometimes your computer will say, hey, you know what, you haven't formatted this yet, right? So you need to do this part, formatting, which is arranging it in some way which assists in storing and retrieving data later, right? Anyway, when or if you keep things inside, you might use one sector like that, right? Or you might have a big software in which you might use several sectors, right? For example, here you're using supposedly 3 sectors, right? Wow, a lot of sectors for this software, right? Or maybe you capture a big picture, for example, so you get 2 sectors in the center here, right? So several sectors together, right, is called a cluster, right? So clusters are really several sectors being used together to store a common thing, right? Because that common thing happens to be, well, big file, big program or anything, right? And needless to say, your software, which is your operating system, OS, needs to keep track of what is inside your computer. Meaning, when you click on something, right, you want to open a game or you want to do your assignments, you want to open Microsoft Word, for example, right? You click and you don't imagine it being open like, 2 weeks later, great, I can do my assignment now, right? You expect your software to launch immediately, right? And so to be able to do that, your operating system, which controls your whole computer, needs to know where exactly are the files located. So they have some kind of like a filing system, you see, like for example, what kind of file, right, and where, right? So they have like, for example, Word file or Word program, and where is it located, which sector, which track, which cluster and whatnot, right? So there are two types of filing system. One is called a file allocation table, FAT, right? The other one is called new technology filing system, right? NTFS and FAT, right? FAT is being used before Windows 2000. NTFS is being used from Windows 2000 and onwards, right? But the newer versions of Windows, the Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, actually make use of both filing systems, right? Just so you know, because it's supposed to be more modern, whatever, right? So you just imagine them as two different methods of filing. Maybe this one uses indexes things using alphabetical order. This one uses date, right? And so the OS has control over your storage, and we can discuss about other storage devices now that we're done with magnetic storage. Magnetic storage.